Hello everyone, myself Rohan Singh, and from today we are going to start a complete tutorial on Core Java. So this tutorial emphasizes on all the concepts of Core Java with best practices. So let's get started. So in our very first slide, it states that Java is one of the most used language and it is one of the most trusted language as well. And we all know that, right? And the third point over here says that Java is syntax friendly. So the syntax of Java, that is the code we write, is very familiar with a simple English language. So it is quite easier to understand the Java source code. And Java also helps you to understand the inner working of the programming, and we'll see how the program works behind the scene. And it has been used by many of the companies like Google, Netflix, Uber, and many more. So let's move further. Okay. Yeah. So Java was invented by James Gosling at Sun Microsystem, and Sun Microsystem is a computer-based company, and the first version of Java was released in 1995. Okay, so here we complete all the concepts related to the just the introduction to Java. But now we'll move with the actual concepts of core Java, means what is Java and how it has been used, right? So Java is a object oriented language. It is platform independent, concurrent, robust and very fast, right? But we'll see all of this concept as we move further with our course. But for today's session, we'll emphasize more on the platform independency and very fastness, right? So we'll move further. Yes. So first of all, to understand what is platform independency, we need to know what is compilation and interpretation. So as we all know that computers cannot understand our language, right? We cannot say that type my name and computer won't understand our language, right? So we write code for that. But does the computer really understand the code? No, right? So there is a need of conversion of code to the machine language, right? So here's come the concept of compilation and interpretation. So compilation and interpretation means what? It is just the conversion of the source code, that is code we write, to the machine language, that is binary instruction, right? So how does this thing happens, right? What is the factor that converts the source code to the machine code, right? So we'll see. So first there are two process of conversion of source code to the machine code. So the first one is compilation, right? So we'll see what is compilation. So compilation, first of all, it has been performed by compiler. So what is a compiler? It converts the source code to the machine code. And why do we need that? So that computer understand what we are trying to say, right? So computer understands machine language, that is binary instruction. We already covered this, right? And another point says that conversion of high level language, that is our code, right? That is Java, C++, C#, Fortran and many more, to the lower level language, that is machine language. So this is something called as compilation, right? And how does this task is being performed? It is being performed by compiler, right? And the another thing, now we'll move to the interpretation. So what is interpretation? As I said, there are two process to convert the source code to machine code, right? So one was compilation, right? And another one is interpretation. So we'll see what is interpretation. So first of all, interpretation is being performed by interpreter. And what is interpreter? We'll see the definition of interpreter, then we'll see what is the difference between the compiler and interpreter, so it will be more clear. So interpreter is a computer program that directly execute instruction written in a programming or a scripting language without requiring them previously to be compiled. So this compiled, so this, you know, like this word compile, you will be get an idea that this compiled is done by compiler, right? That's the reason why it is being said that compiled into machine language program. So now we'll see what is the difference between compilation and interpretation, right? And what is the difference between compiler and interpreter. So let's move to our next slide and it will be very clear. So first of all, you all know that compilation is performed by compiler, and interpretation is performed by interpreter. So compiler scans the complete code. For example, I have written this line of code. So over here 4 lines are there in my code. So compiler will first scan the entire program and translate the whole into the machine code. So what will compiler do? Over here 4 lines of code, it will be scanned by the compiler as a whole, right? And then it will be converted to the machine code. So what is the uses of that? It has a faster execution, right? But it is platform dependent. And I said that Java is platform independent, right? So do Java uses this compiler or interpreter? We'll see what is interpreter. Okay, now as I said, interpreter is another way of converting source code to the machine language, right? So how does interpreter works? So it translates one statement of the program at a time into the machine code. So for example, the same example, for example, I am having the 4 lines of code. So the compiler used to do like this. It will take the complete code and it will convert it to the machine code. But what will interpreter do? It will execute the first line, means it will convert the first line to the machine code, then it will move to the second line, then third line, then fourth line. So this will be like, this is like one line at a time, right? So it is one statement of a program at a time into the machine code. So interpreter converts a single line and compiler scans a, or we can say converts a complete code at once. So interpreter has a slower execution rate, but compiler has a faster execution rate. So but the advantage of interpreter is it is platform independent, right? And we said that Java is platform independent. So now you guys may think that Java uses interpreter, right? But over here I am saying that it is slower execution and compiler is having faster execution, and I said Java is very fast, right? So how does it possible? If it uses this, then it is not platform dependent, right? Sorry, independent. And if it uses this, then it is slower. So how does Java solves this issue? Let's see. Over here, let's move on to our next slide. So over here, now we'll see how does the execution takes place. Yes, so over here we'll see how does the execution in Java takes place. As I said, Java is platform independent and fast, right? So how does this thing is possible? So as we said that compiler has a faster execution rate, but it is platform dependent. So over here we are having a drawback, and interpreter is platform independent, right? So this is the advantage of interpreter, but it has slower execution rate. So this is again a disadvantage of interpreter. So over here both of them is having one advantage and one disadvantage, right? And Java is having both the advantage. So how does Java have that? So Java takes the ability of compiler of faster execution. So it uses both of them. So it uses compiler as well as interpreter. So it takes the ability of compiler of faster execution and takes the ability of interpreter of platform independency. So this is a way that Java is platform independent and faster as well, right? So the faster feature is being given by compiler and the platform independency is given by interpreter. Clear to everyone? Let's move further. Yes, so now over here we'll see how does this thing actually achieved, right? We previously just saw the in the words, like just the theory portion, and now over here we'll see how does this thing is being done behind the scene. So the first step, we'll write a code, right? So over here we are having our source code. So now if we want to run this code, we need to compile our code. So this, okay, over here the spelling mistake, yeah, so this code is being compiled by Java compiler, right? So now this Java compiler will do what? It will scan the complete code, right? if you have multiple lines of code, it will scan the complete code and it will make a means it will convert to a machine language, right? But over here we'll see what happens. So I have write a code, I wrote this code and I just said that compile this code. So now this code will be converted to a bytecode. Okay, so now we'll see what is this bytecode. Means whenever you run a compile a class, or whenever you compile a Java code, it will create a dot class file. We'll see where does this create. Okay, and this dot class file is nothing but a Java bytecode. So what is the need of Java bytecode, right? So first of all, it is compiled, we know, right? This compiled is by compiler and optimized. So we'll see like what is the use of this, right? So now the code has been converted to the bytecode by compiler, right? So now this bytecode is small, right? So previously we had a big code, and by this bytecode, means by the compilation processes, this code is being shortened. So now the interpreter can execute this code line by line in a slow time, means sorry, in a less time, right? So now we'll see, we'll start with the very first point, that we wrote a source code, we said compile it, the compiler converts it to the bytecode, and now the interpreter uses this bytecode for execution. So what's this scenario behind the scene is, like the code is not actually executed by compiler, right? It is actually executed by interpreter, but the compiler does what? It just shortens the code and converts it to the bytecode, and this bytecode is being used by the Java interpreter. So who is Java interpreter? It is called as Java Virtual Machine, that is JVM. You may came across with this word JVM. Okay, and then this JVM executes the bytecode line by line and gives us the desired result. Okay, clear to everyone? Yes. So now we have completed the introduction part and we saw why Java is platform independent and why it has faster execution, and what is the behind the scenes scenario of whenever we write and compile our code, right? So the source code is compiled by the compiler and converted to the bytecode, and bytecode is interpreted by the interpreter, and the interpreter is JVM, and the JVM gives us the desired results, right? So clear to everyone? Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you don't like the video, please hit the dislike button so that I get to know that I wasn't up to mark. So we'll catch up in the next video. Thank you.